passing on what you know to family and the importance of family. I think that's the biggest thing.
For years, fans of Discovery's Alaska: The Last Frontier tuned in to watch Atz Lee Kilcher face the unforgiving Alaskan wilderness with a fearlessness that seemed almost superhuman. He climbed icy cliffs, built cabins in remote forests, hunted in bitter cold winters, and appeared to embody the very spirit of survival. To many viewers, he was not just a man, but a symbol of resilience. However, what if the Atz Lee we thought we knew was only part of the story? What if behind the camera there were cracks, hidden struggles, and warnings that we all missed from the very beginning? Atz Lee's life seemed larger than life. Born into the Kilcher family legacy, his role on the show placed him at the center of the action, while others relied on farming and homesteading. Atz Lee often took on the more daring tasks. He was the risk-taker, the thrill-seeker, the one fans admired for pushing beyond his limits. But there was another side, a quieter, more painful truth unfolding away from the spotlight. One of the darkest turning points came in June 2015. While hiking at Otter Cove with his friend Mark, Atz Lee lost his footing and fell nearly 40 feet down a cliff. The accident left him brutally injured, broken bones in his arms and hips, shattered ankles, punctured lungs, and cracked ribs. It was a fall that could have ended his life instantly. And for many fans, the first time they realized their fearless survivalist was also human. Jane Kilcher, his wife at the time, later revealed that she received the devastating phone call in the middle of the night, a call that shattered her world. Doctors fought to keep him alive, and recovery took months in the hospital and years at home. Though he survived, Atz Lee was never truly the same. At first, he tried to remain positive, even sharing photos and updates with fans from his hospital bed. His words were filled with gratitude, speaking about how the accident had humbled him, how it had shown him the importance of family, friends, and loyal supporters. But beneath those hopeful posts lay a man forced to face not only his physical limitations, but also the mental and emotional scars that come with such trauma. The fearless man who once carried the show now found himself limited. Unable to hunt, build, or film like before, the absence was noticed, and fans began to worry. As if the accident wasn't enough, soon legal troubles began to surface. Atz Lee filed a lawsuit against Otter Cove Resort, arguing that they had failed to put up safety warnings that could have prevented his accident. He demanded $100,000 in damages, but the resort fired back, refusing to accept responsibility and accusing Atz Lee of negligence. This legal battle cast another shadow over his public image, and for a man already dealing with physical recovery, it added another layer of stress. But this was just one chapter. Another storm had already been brewing, and this one would cause even more controversy. In 2014, Atz Lee had taken part in a black bear hunting trip with the show's production team. But instead of hiking through the rugged landscape like traditional hunters, they used a helicopter to access the remote site. What seemed like a convenient shortcut was, in fact, a serious violation of Alaska's strict hunting laws. Helicopters were not allowed for scouting or transporting hunters. The authorities eventually investigated, and both Atz Lee and the production company were charged. This incident shocked fans. The man who symbolized survival in harmony with the wilderness was suddenly accused of breaking its very laws. The court later fined him $1,500 and fined the production company even more heavily. But the damage had been done. Questions arose about the authenticity of the show, about whether producers were pushing the cast into reckless or even illegal situations just for the sake of ratings. Atz Lee himself admitted in interviews that he felt pressured by producers, pressured to perform, to deliver dramatic footage, even when he knew it was wrong. This revelation peeled back the curtain on reality TV, showing viewers that what they saw on screen was not always the truth. As years passed, the warnings kept coming. Atz Lee's public silence grew longer. His social media activity became sparse, and his once lively presence on the show began to fade. Viewers noticed, but Discovery remained quiet, never addressing the controversies, the injuries, or the lawsuits. By 2022, after 11 seasons, Alaska. The Last Frontier came to a sudden and unexpected end. Fans were left with no answers, only speculation. Was it the lawsuits, the declining ratings, or the personal struggles behind the scenes that led to its cancellation? There were many factors. The cost of producing a show in such a remote location had grown expensive. Flying in crews, transporting equipment, braving extreme conditions. It was not cheap television. At the same time, audience tastes were shifting. Survival shows that once dominated ratings were losing ground to true crime series and other modern reality formats. And then there were the personal tragedies. Otto Kilcher's life-threatening injuries, Atz Lee's accident and recovery, and perhaps most painful of all, the end of a marriage that fans had cherished since the beginning. Jane Kilcher, Atz Lee's wife, broke the news publicly, announcing their divorce in blunt, heartbreaking words. She admitted it was out of her control. Fans who had watched their love story unfold on screen were devastated. Many speculated that the years of stress, the accident, the lawsuits, and the constant pressure of living a public life had finally taken their toll. The divorce was not an isolated event. It was the final warning, the culmination of years of pain, trauma, and struggle. Looking back, Atz Lee's story is filled with warnings we didn't see. From his difficult childhood and rebellion against family expectations, to the pressures of reality TV and the demands of a global audience, from the physical scars of his fall to the emotional toll of his divorce, every moment was a sign, a reminder that the fearless survivalist was in fact a man carrying heavy burdens, a man trying to balance his real life with the image created for television. Atz Lee Kilcher's journey is powerful, tragic, and deeply human. It forces us to question the cost of fame, the pressures of reality TV, and the toll it takes on those who live it. His story is not about failure, but about survival in a different sense. Not survival against the wilderness, but survival against personal demons, legal battles, and the weight of expectations. So what do you think about the story of Atz Lee Kilcher? Were the warning signs always there, and we simply didn't listen? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Alaska: The Last Frontier, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories like this.